Welcome back to Not Your Dad's Business. I'm your host, CaiLea Martin. And if you tuned into our last episode, we talked about building a digital foundation that keeps you from being invisible. But today we are shifting gears and we are diving headfirst into our second core pillar, local presence. When you are the only person running the show, handling the bookkeeping, the customer service, and the actual day-to-day operations, you don't have time or money to waste on a massive billboard campaign or complicated social media ads. You need a marketing strategy that is highly efficient, highly trusted, and completely free. In a small town, that strategy has a name, and it's called a referral. Now, if you're new around here, let me give it to you straight. I am not a corporate professional. I do not have a wall covered in business degrees, but what I do have is real-world, small-town experience building successful businesses from scratch. I lived the exact grind you're in right now, and I know that in a tight-knit community, a single word-of-mouth recommendation from the right person is worth more than a $5,000 advertising budget. Today, we are talking about how to intentionally build a referral system that turns your community into an unpaid sales team. We aren't going to talk about awkward corporate pitches or manipulation. We are talking about genuine human connection, strategic partnerships, and leveraging the unique way small towns actually operate. So let's get into it. Think about the last time you needed a service done at your house, or you were looking for a specific product locally. Chances are you didn't just guess. You probably asked a friend or posted in a local community group looking for a recommendation. Why? Because human beings naturally love having a specific person to refer. We like being the person who knows a guy. And if you want to be that person in your town, you have to start by simply getting involved in your community. If nobody sees you, nobody can refer you. It's really as simple as that. You need to show up to local events, join community groups, attend local high school functions, charity drives, or weekend festivals. But here is a secret weapon to this strategy. You don't always have to pitch yourself. In fact, please don't. Nobody wants to talk to the person who treats every casual conversation like a high-pressure sales pitch. When you get involved with your local chamber of commerce or attend a civic meeting, leave the sales scripts at home. Just let people get to know, like, and trust you as a human being. In a small town, people buy the person before they ever buy the product or service. If they like you, if they trust your character, and if they see you consistently supporting the community, they will naturally want to support you back. They will go out of their way to refer your business to their friends, family, and neighbors, regardless of what industry you're actually in, simply because they want to see you succeed. It is just human nature. And the more you put into your community, the more your community will pour back into your business. Once you start building that baseline visibility, it's time to get strategic. The fastest way to double your customer base without spending a dime is to actively reach out to local businesses that share your exact target audience, but are not your direct competitors. Think about it this way. Your ideal customer is already spending money somewhere else in the town right now. They are buying from other local businesses every single day. If you can partner with those businesses, you can step right into an established stream of traffic. Let's look at a few real-world examples of how this actually plays out. Say you want to launch a local food truck. Instead of just parking on some random corner hoping that somebody drives by, look for a local maker who sells custom crafts at a regional crafts fair. They already have crowds of hungry shoppers gathered around their booth every weekend. By teaming up, you bring food to their shoppers, and they bring foot traffic to your truck, and the both of you win. Or let's say your business is strictly roofing. You aren't going to partner with another roofer, but you absolutely should take the local siding contractor out for coffee. When a bad storm runs through your area, a homeowner rarely needs just one thing fixed. They usually need both. And if you have a solid relationship with that siding expert, you become their immediate recommendations for roofs, and they become yours for siding. You both win. Or even if you run a small bakery, look down the street. Partnering with a local independent restaurant or a small coffee shop that doesn't bake their own goods is a gold mine. You get a steady wholesale client or a place to display your pastries, and they get to offer fresh, hyper local treats to their morning rush. I'll give you a perfect real world example of this that is happening in my local community right now. We have a new meat market that just opened up in our area, and it's run by three brothers. And let me tell you, these guys blew up like so incredibly fast. And it's just amazing to see how fast they hit the ground running and the kind of dedication, fiercely loyal support they are getting from everyone around town. I was actually just talking with one of the brothers the other day about how busy and successful they've been right out of the gate. And if you sit back and look at why they're crushing it, it's not an accident. It's because these guys were already super involved with their community before they even opened their doors. One is on our local fire department. The other one is married to a teacher at our local high school. They're all super involved with their church. And they're just a very well-known family in the area just to begin with. They didn't just buy a building, put up a sign, and hope for the best. They instantly started building local bridges. They stepped up and partnered with a restaurant right across the street that is also locally owned. When the church held their monthly community get-togethers recently, guess who donated the food? They aren't aggressively pitching people at the grocery store. They're just showing up, serving, and letting people see who they are. And I truly believe a massive part of their explosive success is a direct result of how deeply involved they chose to be with their local communities. People see that passion, they see that generosity, and they want to see those brothers win. That is the power of local presence. When an established local business owner that a customer already trusts hands them your card or recommends your name, that trust is instantly transferred to you. When that local restaurant started serving the local meat market's meat as part of their specials, it instantly transferred trust that this was a high quality meat market. Now, if you want to take this a step further and put your referrals on autopilot, you needed to look into structured networking groups. And I'm talking about organizations like B&I, local independent breakfast clubs, or specific business lead exchanges in your area. If you've never been to one of these meetings, it can feel a little intimidating from the outside, but you can learn an immense amount from other business owners in that room. These groups aren't just casual social hours. They are literally set up and designed from the ground up to send referrals directly your way. And I can speak to this personally because I am actually president of our local networking group. I love my networking group. I attribute most of my success to them. I have learned so much. My business has grown exponentially, not just because of the business that they've sent my way, but just because it's so nice to be in a room of other business owners and other like-minded people who can help me answer the questions that I don't know. Like I said in the beginning of this, I don't have a business degree. I don't exactly always know what I'm doing. But the thing is that I'm not afraid to ask questions. I'm not afraid to get involved, and I'm not afraid to just go for it. Because of that, this group has just helped me so much. Ours is set up where you meet every single week, and then we keep track of how many referrals that we send out to other people and just how much business we've been able to generate from our group. And it's just amazing to see the numbers that a small group can do. And that's why I think the mechanics of a structured networking group are beautiful, especially for micro business owners. I know a lot of people who think that they might not be big enough to join them, but usually these groups only allow one person per industry. That means if you are the accepted realtor, plumber, or photographer in that chapter, nobody else in your industry can join. Everyone else sitting at that table, the accountant, the insurance agent, the mechanic, becomes an extension of your sales team, which means it's one less thing that you have to focus on, and it's one less part that you have to pay or hire out. Not only that, but with these groups, you are getting together at least once a week, and typically outside of that, you break off into smaller groups. We, in our group, call them one-to-ones, where you're getting to like, know, and trust the other people in your group. When I refer you my roofer, I'm not just doing it because he's part of my group and it's what I'm supposed to do. I'm doing it because I listen to him every single week come in and tell us about how he's not the type to give you the runaround, about how he solved this problem for a client, or how he fought this insurance claim to help his clients get the right end result. And that way I know that I'm sending you this really great guy who is dedicated to his craft, and because he's not going to show up every single week if he's out there screwing people over, So it's a really, really great way to not only have like a pocket full of people that you can just say, hey, I know a guy and I really know and trust them. But you also have a group of people who can do the same for you because you're doing the same, where you're showing up every single week and you're talking about your wins and the way that you're different from everyone else and the different unique services that you offer. There's several different ways that you can get involved with groups like these, networking groups, or depending on how big your chamber is, sometimes they actually have set up groups as well. They'll do like business after hours, or they'll have luncheons. All of those different types of groups are really great groups to get involved with. Super nerve-wracking when you first show up. I completely understand that, but pushing through that awkwardness and getting to know those people is absolutely worth it. So, I don't let you leave the show without a concrete roadmap. We aren't here to overcomplicate things. We are here to take action before the week is out. So here are 3 simple steps that you can take today to get your referral system moving. The first one is the chamber checklist. If you are not a member of your local chamber of commerce or a local business association, look them up online right now. Find out when their next morning coffee or after hours mixer is and put it on your calendar and commit to going. If you are already a member, make sure that you log into their directory and find one community event happening this month that you can volunteer for or attend. The second one would be the non-compete coffee date. Identify one business in your area that shares your exact ideal customer but doesn't do what you do. Pick up your phone, send them a text, or walk into their shop and say, hey, I love what you do here. I'm trying to connect with more local owners. Can I buy you a coffee this week? No pitching, just go learn about their business and see how you can help them. And our last one, number 3, is to map your local network. Sit down with a piece of paper for 10 minutes. Write down 3 industries that naturally complement yours. If you're a wedding photographer, write down florists, venues, and DJs. Once you have your 3, search for the top-rated local operators in those fields and just make a plan to introduce yourself in the next week. Building a business in a small town can feel incredibly isolating when you are doing it all on your own, but it does not have to be. When you intentionally build a network of local support, you realize you have an entire community standing right behind you. If today's episode gave you a new perspective on how to grow your local presence, please hit that subscribe button and give us a like wherever you're listening. This show is completely free, and your reviews and subscriptions are the fuel that keeps this content coming your way every single week. If you want to evaluate how strong your business looks to your local community right now, head over to notyourdadsbusiness.com. I have a completely free mini audit waiting for you where you can see exactly how you rank locally and where your biggest growth opportunities are. And don't forget to jump on our weekly newsletter while you're there. Every single week, I take the exact lessons that we just went over and break it down into finer step-by-step execution details so that you can build your referral pipeline without the guesswork. Get out into your community, shake a few hands, and I will see you right here next week where we will build something even better together, because this is not your dad's business.